Morning. I'd like to talk to you today about the circles of influence, which is a model that Steven Covey came up with, and it's all about how we can choose what we want to have control over. So it links to one of my earlier posts that I did a few days ago about letting go, but it's an extension of that. So actually, I'd like to talk to you about what the three circles are and then give us some ideas and thoughts about how we might use this model to help us at this time. And it's useful for yourself to do for yourself, and it's also useful for you maybe to do with your people if you're a leader or a manager. You can actually do this exercise with them, or you can put yourself in their shoes and think about what they might say. So it's a useful tool to have up your sleeve for many different reasons. So what Steven Covey said was there are three different circles. So I'm going to talk to you about what these three circles are. So the first circle he came up with was the circle of concern. So the idea here is you come up with and you jot down everything that's on your mind, everything that's keeping you awake, everything you're concerned about. So for many of us watching this, we're actually probably might be a bit daunted by that. And if we're thinking about our people that work with us or for us, wow, that list could be a very long list. But the idea is we get those things out, we get them out on the table, and that in itself can be quite cathartic. So my list here, when will this end? When will this virus end? Financially, what might that look like for us, me and Guy running our own company, both self-employed, and the health and well-being of us, our family, the community, people globally. So you get your concerns out, you get them out on the table, and the long-term aim of the circle of concern is that you park those concerns. And that's a very difficult thing to do because actually they're real, they're very real, and for many people it's what drives us, it's what we'll be thinking about every day. But the idea is we can't actually control it, we can't do anything about this virus, we can't stop it. It's a bit like the weather, we can't control the weather, whether it's sunny, rainy, So in a way, he's inviting us to acknowledge what those concerns are and then to kind of accept that there's other things we can do with those concerns, which are the next two circles. So it's kind of like acknowledging it, but also parking it. So the next circle I'd like to talk to you about is the one that's most empowering, which is our circle of control. I put a big question mark there because when we initially ask ourselves what we have control over, we say, well, nothing. This virus is happening, everything's happening around us, we can't do anything, we're working from home and the schools no one's at school. So what do we have control over? But we have to stop and think and question and really push ourselves. And I often think about the quote and the work of Viktor Frankl, who was in a concentration camp. He was a survivor in the Holocaust of a concentration camp, who was a psychiatrist, Austrian psychiatrist, and he basically wrote after his experience a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and he actually said no one can take away your mindset or your thinking, and actually having a meaning and a purpose, no matter how difficult the circumstance, is the key thing. So when I think of that, that empowers me, makes me think of many things that I have control over. So I wrote those down in my list this morning. So this is my list. So I wrote down my attitude, keep that positive attitude, keep buoyant, keep happy. I'm a role model for my three kids, and it's important they're off school now, just giving them activities to do, giving them things to think about, keeping them buoyant too. Following the guidelines, of course, washing hands, social distancing, all those things. Limiting what I'm feeding my brain with. So, watching the news, but not being drawn into the copious amounts of media and all those things that could bring me down. And being kind and considerate. Just, actually, I have 100% control over that. All of these things on this list, I have 100% control over. So, that's the thing. And when we stop, no one can make me not do those things. I am in control, and I'm going to be kind and considerate. Going to put a note under all our neighbours' doors later on today, just saying if you want us to do your shopping, we're very happy to do that. So the final circle he talks about is the circle of influence. So these are those things that we can influence around the edge. So we can't control the weather, but we can influence through global warming and through our activities that we do and how we take care of the world, we can influence those things. So what can we do that can positively influence ourselves and each other's happiness at this time? So I've written down 3 things here, and they all begin with C: connection, creativity and community. So I'm going to keep connections going. I'm doing a lot of Zoom calls with family and friends. I'm going to be creative, come outside my comfort zone, do this type of thing, which isn't what I normally do. Start to build our online training and resources that we were planning to do for years but never got around to do it. So, let this be a time of creativity where we learn. And if each and every one of us learns something, won't we be a better universe and a better world following this? And the third one is community. Let's all be positive in our community. Let's do as much as we can in our community. I've already enrolled in a community project to help, during this time. So I feel really good about that. So the idea, these are how it comes together: concern around the edge, influence, and then right at the heart of it is control. So what Covey really says is, when we choose to control, we're being proactive. So, that's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people he wrote a book on. And proactive is when we're seizing, we're claiming what we can really do. We are being proactive. We're making things happen. And if we're going to be in the concern, then we're reactive. We're waiting for things to happen to us. We're being victims. So let's not be victims. We're managers, we're leaders, we're individuals, we're professionals. Let's be proactive and help ourselves and others at this time. Let me know how you get on. Please feel free to share this with your networks if you think this is going to be useful and valuable. We're going to be doing, Guy and myself are going to be doing a post every day during this time. So yeah, look forward to seeing you again. Let me know how you get on. Bye for now.